Right now, let's go to Rocky Harbour, Newfoundland. This is where Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is speaking.
As people step up. These are the kinds of things that Canadians are looking for. As I traveled across the country this summer, people talk to me about making ends meet. They talk to me about the high cost of rent and the need for more housing. They talk to me about the environment and climate change and the impacts of it. And these are the things that we're focused on. I'll let others focus on politics, but I will point out that I really hope the NDP stays focused on how we can deliver for Canadians, as we have over the past years, rather than focusing on politics.
Follow-up.
What will become of the programs that you announced as part of the agreement that you had with the NDP, such as pharmacare and dental care?
Well, we have delivered on dental care. 500,000 Canadian seniors have now accessed dental care just in the past few months, despite Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives' opposition to it every step of the way. 500,000 Canadian seniors have now had dental care, many for the first time in decades. This is a program that has helped Canadians. We still have work to do to continue rolling out dental care, and I hope the NDP will continue to fight for that. This fall, we're going to be moving forward on making sure that nobody has to choose between paying for groceries or rent or paying for much-needed insulin. Pharmacare is going to become a reality as we work on that in the House, and I hope the NDP stays focused on that. As a government, we're going to stay focused on delivering for Canadians at a time where people need that. We have, and the Bank of Canada announcement today underscored that, we have the strongest fiscal position of any country in the G7 right now. My belief, our belief is we need to set that fiscal position to work for Canadians by delivering spaces at $10 a day in daycares across the country, delivering dental care, rolling out to Canadians with disabilities and kids under 18, delivering a school food program that's going to make sure that kids don't sit in class too focused on their bellies rumbling to focus on the teacher. These are things that Canadians care about and need. These are the things that this government continues to focus on.
Next question.
Prime Minister Don Bradshaw, NTV, have you had an opportunity to think about what your fall will look like now? Will it be just a regular return to the House of Commons, or do you now have to start thinking about maybe calling an election before something happens?
I am not focused on politics. I'll let other parties focus on politics. I'm focused on actually delivering the things that Canadians told me this summer they need. I had thousands of conversations with people across the country. Very few of them wanted to talk politics. They wanted to talk how are they going to make sure that they can afford their rent as they get back to school in the fall, how they're going to be able to hope to one day be able to own a home. That's why we're investing in the most ambitious home building program the country has ever seen. They want to know how we're going to help with the price of groceries. Well, rolling out these school food programs right across the country as more provinces come on board is going to make a real difference in families' bottom lines. I'm focused on Canadians. I'll let the other parties focus on politics.
But with that said, you have to focus on politics at some point when you look at what you're doing. The announcement today, for example, the Bank of Canada rate dropping, it would seem like these would be positive signs that maybe you would want to go to the polls with. So when do you start thinking politically?
Delivering for Canadians is at the heart of what politics is supposed to be about. We're about being there to make sure that as Canadians are hurting, but as our economy is in many ways one of the strongest in the world, certainly in terms of fiscal position, we should be putting that economy to serve them. That's why we stepped up with $10 a day childcare. That's why we've stepped up with dental care. That's why we're continuing to fight for pharmacare. This is why we're drawing in investment from around the world at levels that nobody's ever seen. We're up 60% in foreign direct investment. Last year, we were the #1 country per capita among advanced economies in the G20 for companies wanting to invest in Canada. There is opportunity in Canada that we cannot let slide. That's what we're focused on. An election will come in the coming year, hopefully not till next fall. because in the meantime, we're going to deliver for Canadians. And the contrast with a Conservative leader that wants to cut dental care, cut the school food program, cut insulin through pharmacare, cut the programs that Canadians are relying on to help them through this difficult time, well, that'll be a political decision that Canadians get to take in an election. But in the meantime, I'm not letting down Canadians, and I'm going to stay focused on them. La réalité, c'est que depuis plusieurs années, on est là pour livrer pour les Canadiens, que ce soit au niveau des soins dentaires, que ce soit au niveau de l'abordabilité avec des investissements dans du logement, avec de l'aide pour l'épicerie, avec un programme pour les enfants à l'école avec la nourriture. On est là pour livrer. On va continuer de livrer. On va continuer de se battre à la Chambre des communes. Et s'il y a d'autres partis qui veulent plus jouer de la politique que de livrer pour les Canadiens, bien, les Canadiens le verront. Mais moi, ma priorité, c'est d'être là pour les gens dans ces moments difficiles, pendant qu'on a une des situations fiscales les plus fortes des pays du G7. On devrait être en train d'investir dans les Canadiens, et c'est exactement ce que je fais.
Next question.
Hi, Troy Turner, CBC. Just to get back to the NDP announcement today, what conversations did you have with Mr. Singh prior to today's announcement?
I have had, over the past number of years, many conversations about how we get things done for Canadians. And that has led to things like $10 a day childcare, dental care that has made a huge impact. But both of those things have more work to do in Parliament this fall, as we're moving forward on pharmacare as well, to make sure that free prescription contraceptives, to make sure that free insulin is available to Canadians. These are things that I know the NDP should care about, because Canadians care about it. So I look forward to conversations with Mr. Singh about how we're going to continue to demonstrate that confident countries invest in their citizens, invest in their future, because that's what we're doing.
Hello. Leading up to today's announcements by the NDP, Pierre Poilievre had made a call to the NDP to get out of that governance agreement. Is there a fear that these two parties will form a similar type agreement? And how would that affect you leading into the next year and the next election?
I think Canadians are beginning to realize that Pierre Poilievre is wrong when he says he doesn't want to invest in food for kids at school. He's wrong when he doesn't want to see $10 a day childcare spaces created. He's wrong when he doesn't want to see free insulin go to Canadians in need who are fighting diabetes. He's wrong to not want to put the strongest balance sheet in the G7 in service of Canadians. Confident countries invest in their citizens and in their future. That's what we're doing. That's a choice he wants to take away from Canadians. And I truly believe that progressive parties like the NDP and we Liberals need to continue to deliver for people in this challenging time, because that's how we've grown the economy over the past years. That's how we'll continue to be there long into the future for Canadians.
Next question. Obliged with an answer in French as well, please.
Okay. Tout politicien a des décisions à prendre sur comment ils veulent servir les Canadiens. En tant que gouvernement, notre choix a été d'investir dans les Canadiens.
To invest in Canadians.
Le choix de M. Poilievre,
Mr. Poilievre's choice is to cut.
De s'opposer au programme de nourriture pour les
or
écoles,
to oppose the school food program,
de garderie à $10 à travers le
the
pays,
$10 a day
de s'opposer
daycare program,
au programme de soins dentaires
and to oppose the dental care program,
déjà eu accès.
where 500,000 seniors have already had access to.
Une économie
That's not the right choice.
On devrait la mettre
Since we have a
au
strong
service
economy, we
des
should
Canadiens qui en ont
put that
besoin.
to the service of
Et,
Canadians who need
Le
it.
NPD va devoir faire un choix. Est-ce qu'ils
The
veulent
NDP will
jouer
have to make
la
a choice.
politique, ou est-ce
Do
qu'ils
they
veulent
want
être là
to play
pour
politics,
servir et livrer
or
pour
do
les
they
Canadiens?
want to
Nous, on a fait notre choix en
serve
tant que gouvernement.
and
On
deliver
va
for
continuer d'être là
Canadians?
pour livrer
Our
pour les
choice as a
Canadiens.
government is to continue to be there to deliver.
Hi, Justin Brake, The Independent. Mr. Trudeau, no doubt this is a very positive announcement in the fact that there are going to be a lot of students in this province and eventually around Canada who won't be hungry at school during the day. I know that there are a lot of students and parents and teachers and a lot of people across the country who are wondering why, given the compassion we have for our own children here, the Canadian government remains complicit in the slaughter of civilians, including children and students in Palestine. What do you say to all the students who are watching, wondering why Canada hasn't done more to end that violence?
We have been calling for a ceasefire since December. We need to see an end to the violence. We need to see a return of the hostages. We need to see Hamas lay down its arms and stop using Palestinian children and civilians as shields. We need to see the Israeli government abide by international law and rules. And we need an immediate ceasefire. We need to get back on that path towards a two-state solution where a peaceful, secure Israel lives alongside a peaceful, secure Palestinian state. That is the work that Canada has been doing on the world stage for many months. That is what we are going to continue to do, to push for that two-state solution.
Follow up.
It hasn't really been having an impact, though, and a lot of people have been saying for months that the Canadian government should unequivocally condemn Israel, cut diplomatic ties, and categorically have an arms embargo, including sending weapons and arms goods to other countries like the United States. We know they're getting stuff from Quebec that are then being sent to Israel to bomb Palestinians. Why haven't you put an end to that?
Israel has a right to defend itself in accordance with international law. On October 7th of last year, they lived through one of the most horrific terrorist attacks in history. And we need to continue to stand for peace, for Israelis, for Palestinians in the region long into the future. That's why we're calling on Hamas to lay down its arms. That's why we're calling for Israel to abide by international law. That's why we're calling for an immediate ceasefire so that we can get massive amounts of humanitarian aid to end the ongoing tragedies that are happening in Gaza right now. This is an incredibly difficult situation that has repercussions, tangible repercussions on millions of Canadians who are worried about the rise in hatred here at home, who are worried about sending their kids to school as the new school year starts in universities and high schools across the country. We need to remember who we are as Canadians, which is fighting for our values of peace, openness, and understanding, putting aside the hate, and being committed to a peaceful future in the Middle East where a secure Israel lives alongside a secure and internationally recognized Palestinian state.
Next question.
It sounds like you're downplaying the significance of genocide, or what could very well be genocide. You don't want to speak to the genocide piece?
Next question.
You got two questions. There's a whole bunch of other journalists. I look forward to hearing from them as well. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Prime Minister Trudeau. Welcome back to Newfoundland. Hope you're enjoying your visit here.
Always.
Nice sunny day in a beautiful community of Rocky Harbour. Dean Clark, Bay FM, by the way. And what is the significance of this announcement being right here in Rocky Harbour today? Can you speak about that a little bit?
Listen, we know that Rocky Harbour, like many communities across Newfoundland and Labrador, and indeed right across the country, is a beautiful place.
Okay, so we've been listening live to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who's in Rocky Harbour, Newfoundland. He's taking questions from the media. This is after NDP Leader Jagmeet Singh announced that they're pulling out of the confidence and supply agreement with the Liberals. In response to that, Trudeau said, quote, "I'll let others focus on politics." He said that answer more than once. Now, when asked about the dental care and pharmacare programs, Trudeau said, quote, "We have delivered, specifically when it comes to the dental care program." Now, NDP leader, it should be mentioned rather that NDP leader Jagmeet Singh made this announcement on social media, but he will be here on CP24 Live in studio to speak more about this tomorrow afternoon.